Hey everyone. Hi Facebook. Happy hump day to you. It's Sonia coming to you live from Minnesota. I can't see who is jumping on, so do say hello if you are joining us. I know it's kind of that transition from work to home or from work life to home life if you're working at home, like those of us that work at home. But say hello if you are watching live, or if you're catching this on the replay, say hello as well too. But this is going to be a fun little topic today. I thought we'd do a little bit of kind of nutrition trivia around the area of trace minerals. So what we're here to talk about today is 3 important facts that everybody should know about trace minerals. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what they are and why I'm qualified to talk about trace minerals. So a little bit about my background for those of you that don't know me. I am a registered dietitian, nutritionist, certified diabetes educator. All that to say, I love helping people get healthier, get wealthier, and live a life that they deserve. So like a boss is what we do. When you do, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, right? So why not do it like a boss? Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about trace minerals like a boss today, and 3 fun facts that you should know. So as a dietitian, obviously I'm always interested in sharing the latest and greatest information about food and nutrition and health. And one of the things that I've been spending a lot of time over the last probably 10 years or so is just really kind of diving in to learn more about why trace minerals are so very important in our world. So let's talk about what they are. Trace minerals are exactly how they sound. They're things that we need in trace amounts that our bodies need to thrive. And there are a lot of them. There are some that are more recognized than others. As a matter of fact, that the FDA, and again, this is not a discussion about the FDA and your beliefs around the FDA, but I will say that the FDA recognizes really only about 10 of them as important. And so we know that through research and really just knowing what people need to thrive nutritionally, there's a lot more than 10 that people need in their body and in their day. And the reason for that is the first thing that you should know. It's that trace minerals are not something your body can produce on its own. In other words, you have to take them in somewhere. So they need to come from the food you eat, the water you drink, or some form of supplement. Hey, Sue, thanks for joining. And so when we look at the fact that we need them and they're not available but only through food and water, we need to make sure we're, of course, eating the right foods and drinking plenty of fluids. All of that is very, very important. So cannot get them, or our bodies cannot make them on their own. We have to get them from some sort of food, water, or supplement source. Okay, so that's fun fact number 1. Number 2, this is where we're going to spend a little time because I think this is really a problem that most people aren't aware of. Number 2 is the fact that, okay, so we just talked about you have to get them from food, but in order for the food to be high in trace minerals, the soil that the food is grown in has to be high in trace minerals. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a problem there, and that's what we're going to spend a little time on here. So when we look at modern day farming, and I live in the middle of, we'll call it farmland USA in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, where there's a lot of agriculture going on. So I see this before my very eyes. And what I will tell you is that unfortunately, with modern farming practices, a lot of the food that we're consuming has become nutritionally bankrupt. So there's a lot of research that basically states that over the last 40 years, our food supply has declined drastically in its nutritional value. So that's a real problem, because if we're supposed to get these trace minerals from our food and from our water and from, the things that we ingest, but yet our food supply is depleted, then how do we get them? So what's most interesting is that, traditional farming practices they use fertilizer on the soil, which does attempt to replete some of those minerals that are missing. But unfortunately, most of the fertilizer only covers nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So remember I said there's a lot of them. The FDA only recognizes 10. And then the soil is only being fertilized with 3. And that's most fertilizers. So we have a compounding problem. As you can see, we have nutritionally bankrupt food. It's depleted in all of these trace minerals that we need, yet our bodies need them to thrive and survive. Okay, so I'm painting a picture for you. But I'm going to give you some positive news. The positive news, and this is the part that's most interesting to me, And the thing that I've done a little bit of research on recently is that while our soil levels are becoming depleted, the ocean waters and seas are essentially becoming more enriched in trace minerals. And so I'm going to use Salt Lake City, for example. So the Great Salt Lake that's in Salt Lake City, I know some of you live there, and it's a beautiful place. I love to visit. But interestingly enough, that water is so saturated with healthy minerals. And it's because all of those minerals run down off the mountains. And because the water is really trapped and has nowhere to go, that water becomes so enriched in minerals. Well, unfortunately, not all of us live in Salt Lake, and we're not certainly going to go and scoop up minerals from the Great Lake itself. But I think you get the concept here. The concept is that our soil is depleted, but the good news is our waters are more enriched. Now, of course, even with ocean water, you're not going to go and start consuming the actual water itself. But we know that when we look to source trace minerals, the best place to get them from is some form of seawater. So seawater is really, really rich in these trace minerals. And so when we look at how do we get more trace minerals into our world, or into our bodies, I should say, from our world, we know we need to look at some form of supplementation. Now, there are a lot of different supplements on the market. Many of them come in capsule forms, or, powders, shakes. I mean, there's all different kinds of bio-delivery or bioavailable delivery systems that people use. But unfortunately, when it comes in a capsule or it comes in a pill form, it's not as well absorbed by the body. So one of the best ways to actually get these trace minerals is, again, sourced from seawater, but then also in a tincture form. So liquid that you can really just consume in your water or just put under your tongue, that really does not have to be digested and absorbed in the intestinal tract. So I have found a really awesome little solution that I use every day. It's actually just the coolest little tincture that I add to my water. I do it twice a day. I put 10 drops in the morning and 10 drops in the evening. And it's filled with 92 trace minerals, 92. Remember I said the FDA is only really recognizing 10, 92 trace minerals that are depleted and supposed to be present in our soil. So what does that do for me? That helps to fill in the gaps for what's missing. Even though I eat really healthy, I use a custom nutrition supplement that's made just from food. But remember I said that even food is not as healthy as it once was 40 years ago. So if we have nutritionally depleted food, or nutritionally depleted soil, we have nutritionally depleted food, we have nutritionally depleted humans. So therefore we need trace mineral supplementation in our life. It's a real problem, you guys. And if you do any research on trace minerals, you'll find that it's so very important, even though we need them in trace amounts. Oftentimes, the root of disease comes in nutritional deficiencies. And so if we can actually correct those deficiencies, and trace minerals being a big one, then we have better optimal health overall. So I hope you guys found value in this information. It's just a topic that's really near and dear to my heart. It's very interesting, and it's a real world problem that we all struggle with today. So if you found value in this and you'd love to share the information with others, go ahead and smash the share button. And I'd love for you to help me spread the word on this topic. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll be coming back at you live soon. Take care, everyone.